Hi, welcome to the Journal of Young Investigators YouTube channel. My name is Paneet and I'm the current Chief Development Officer here at JYI. This episode is the first episode of a new series we're launching called Field Knowledge. If you're an undergraduate student or high school student, particularly grade 12, then this series is for you, but all are welcome to watch, of course. In this series, we sit down with professors and we ask them a set of questions that looks to probe about certain aspects of their field. So for this episode, we're sitting down with Dr. Nafisa Jadavji, who is a neuroscientist. She is an assistant professor in the Department of Biomedical Sciences at Midwestern University, and she is an adjunct research professor in the Department of Neuroscience, Carleton University. Dr. Jadavji is a trained neuroscientist, and her lab investigates how the brain changes over the lifespan. I hope you learned something and enjoy the video. Take care. Okay. All right. So what first drew you to your profession, specifically neuroscience?
Sure. So I was in grade 11 biology in high school, and we learned about the neuromuscular junction. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I was thinking about what I wanted to do in college or in university. And I was like, oh, this neuroscience seems kind of neat, the way, how nerve impulses transmit super fast and the brain is kind of cool. And so that sparked my interest was in biology, in high school biology. And then I did an undergraduate in neuroscience. I went to school. I did all of my schooling in Canada, and I went to a university that really had a strong focus on undergraduate research. So I got involved in research really early, I think in my first year. I was working with rats and things like that. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. And so, that's what started this all.
Great. What advice would you give to students who are unsure if neuroscience is right for them?
So what I did when I was a college student or university student, and even in high school and all of that, I tried a lot of different things. So I did, I volunteered at different organizations. I participated in research, in neuroscience research. I did other types of research during my undergraduate. And I think the advice that I can give to other students or people that might be interested in neuroscience is, try it, get involved, take a class, work in a lab or volunteer in a lab and see if you like it. And I think it's really important when you're young to expose yourself to different things to figure out what you really like. And then, once you find something that you're really passionate about and really excites you, then go for it, pursue it in whatever way you can.
Okay. What are the major challenges people face in your profession or your research field or?
So I think the biggest thing is rejection or failing or feeling like you're failing. So rejection, what I mean is, being rejected on applications for graduate school or for programs, or rejection for awards, or, publishing papers. Rejection in the sense, or I guess rejection in the sense when experiments fail, because they fail all the time, or they don't work the way you think they're going to work. So I think this constant feeling like you're failing, but you're not. I really like this phrase. If you're not being rejected, you're not trying, or you're not aiming high enough. And so I try and keep that in mind, because sometimes the rejections just pile on. And so I think it's really important to form a community of people, that are supportive of you at home. So in your personal life and also in your academic life. So at school with professors and other students, and to really have this sense of community of people that support you. And so when things don't go the way you think they're going to go, or, things are hard, you have these people, rooting for you and, take every success you can and, let it power you to the next success and power you through all the rejections. I think that's definitely one of the hardest things. And with each rejection, you get better, I think, at dealing with it. I know recently my lab was trying to publish a paper in a journal that I think is quite reputable. And I was really excited to be able to get this manuscript and this study into this journal. And we went back and forth for, I think, 9 months over my maternity leave as well. And, the revisions I didn't agree with 100%, but I still did them because I wanted the paper to be accepted in that journal. And in the end, they rejected the paper after, I think, 3 or 4 rounds of revisions. And it was really harsh. I was really bummed out about it. But then, I thought about it, and I was able to rebound back a lot faster than I was in the past. And so I think, being rejected over and over again helps you develop coping mechanisms on how to sort of get back up and move forward. And, resilience is also really important, I think, in science. So I think, rejection is definitely a major challenge, but it's also an opportunity to grow and learn.
Okay. What are the pathways and career options after someone does an undergraduate, which is focused on neuroscience?
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things that students can do. I remember when I graduated from my undergraduate, some of my fellow classmates one student went on to work for Merck. And so she went into industry right away and was doing research there. A number of us went on to graduate school. Some of us went on to medical school or other sort of healthcare professional programs. There's also this whole new field of science communication that's really popular. There's the ability to teach, maybe not with an undergraduate, but with some additional training. If you really like teaching, that's an option too. So I think that there's a number of pathways with an undergraduate in neuroscience, and some of them are, traditional medical school, graduate school, but there's also the option of going into industry, science communication. I know one of my friends went into law school. So she, wrote her LSATs and is now a practicing lawyer in Canada. So there's, a wide opportunity or wide basis. And like I said in response to a previous question, it's really important about finding out what your passions are and then pursuing them, because then I think your job doesn't feel like a job. It's something that you really enjoy. And, that makes it the day-to-day really fun and enjoyable.
Great. I really like that advice personally, so I just wanted to do that. So if you could go back in time to your undergraduate years, is there anything you would tell your younger self to change or do differently, if there is anything?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing would be to just, take your time, relax, don't rush things, really take time to enjoy the classes, the experience of being an undergraduate, and getting all the different experiences, and have fun, and don't be too impatient with things. Everything will work out. um, and I think sometimes as young people we want things to be like done like yesterday, and that doesn't often happen. But I think that's just, take your time, enjoy things, don't rush, and have fun. And you're only an undergraduate once, so.
Right. All right, our last question is catered towards that student who knows they want neuroscience and they love the brain and the nervous system, but they're not sure exactly what they could do day in, day out outside of their undergrad to help improve themselves and find resources. So are there any resources that you are aware of or would like to shout out that could help students progress and improve themselves in the field of neuroscience specifically? Could be like conferences, journals, websites.
Sure. So I think the Society for Neuroscience, it's US based, is a great resource. I became a member for this society in 2005, which seems eons ago, but that's when I was an undergraduate, a graduate. No, I was an undergraduate at that time. So that, I went to their meetings, which was great. It's a huge meeting. If you're not in the US or in North America, there's also the Federation of European Neuroscientists Society, FENS. In Europe, Canada also has a Canadian Association of Neuroscientists or Neuroscience. So there are these societies that are neuroscience specific. There's also an initiative that I'm a part of called Reproducibility for Everyone. So this is an international initiative. We're currently funded by the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, where we're trying to introduce scientists into reproducibility techniques into their research by having the scientists incorporate reproducible techniques into their research. So that's Reproducibility for Everyone. We have a website online to check that out. If you're in graduate school or looking into graduate school, there's the graduate student Slack group. So I think you can just Google them or search on Twitter for them. It's just a Slack community for graduate students, so you can ask as many questions as you want and get feedback and advice. For people that are further along in their training, there's also the Future PI Slack and the New PI Slack that I found quite useful. I was part of Future PI Slack, and I found it very useful asking random questions. I'm currently a part of New PI Slack, and that's a great resource to ask random questions, and you're all at kind of the same level or sort of stage, so you can ask questions of each other and get some advice from other peers. So that's a great resource. I also have several resources listed on my website, so the JYI in terms of learning more about the brain, so like a mouse brain atlas, as well as other initiatives. So yeah.
Okay, great. And we'll probably link that in the description of the video, the link to your lab. So thanks for that resource as well. All right, so those are the questions that we've prepared. Is there anything else that you would like to say or end off on?
I think just with, if you're interested in neuroscience, get involved early, and don't be shy. Reach out to whomever you can and build a network, and don't wait too long. Get involved in as much as you can, if it's possible, and if you needed any advice or anything, feel free to reach out to me. I'm still a part of JYI, so you can reach out to me at jyyi@jyi.org.
Okay, great. And we'll probably have that in the description as well, since you've
Awesome.
been accessible. All right. So that's all for us. Yeah.